Maybe you're going through a time when things feel a little off. You walk into a room and forget why. You misplace your keys or can't recall the name of someone familiar. And then that quiet thought appears. Is this just age? Or something more? These little moments can weigh more than we admit. Because memory isn't just about remembering names or dates. Memory is who we are. It holds the scent of childhood, the laughter of long-gone friends, the words that changed our lives, and the silences we've learned to carry in our hearts. But what if forgetfulness isn't something we have to accept as part of growing older? What if there are gentle choices, habits we build, that can help protect our memory and keep our minds clear? Science is now confirming what many ancient traditions have always sensed. Your body listens closely to your inner world. When something feels off, when we disconnect, rush, or neglect our well-being, the body speaks. Sometimes through pain, sometimes through forgetfulness. The encouraging news is that research in brain health and integrative wellness is showing something powerful. It's possible to support your mind well into your 60s, 70s, and beyond. It begins with what we do every day. The small patterns that quietly shape how we feel and how clearly we think. In this video, we'll walk through 5 habits that have shown real promise in supporting memory and mental clarity. They're not complicated, but they can be meaningful, especially when embraced with care. We'll also explore a natural option that many have turned to as an extra layer of support for their minds. Before we begin, though, let me remind you of something important. You're not broken, you're evolving. So take a deep breath. This moment is for you, a quiet space to reconnect with yourself. Because all healing begins when we gently acknowledge what hurts. And remember, you are not alone. The universe is listening. Nourish your brain with the Mind Diet. Picture your brain as a quiet orchestra. Billions of tiny players working together to create something beautiful. Your thoughts, your memories, your sense of self. And just like a conductor tunes each instrument, what you eat tunes this inner harmony. More and more research is showing a clear message. What goes on your plate can shape how your mind ages. One of the most promising discoveries in this area is the Mind Diet. It brings together the best parts of the Mediterranean and DASH diets with one specific goal: to support long-term brain health. But it's not about strict rules or complicated plans. It's about small, daily choices that build up over time. The Mind Diet encourages foods that nourish the brain. Dark leafy greens like spinach and kale, full of protective antioxidants. Colorful berries that help keep brain cells safe. Olive oil, which supports communication between your neurons. And simple staples like whole grains and nuts, which provide steady energy. What's remarkable is that following this kind of diet has been shown to lower the risk of Alzheimer's by as much as 25%. That's not a quick fix or a miracle cure. It's a gentle, steady investment, a quiet way to care for the part of you that holds your memories. At the same time, this approach also gently steers you away from the things that can cloud the mind: ultra-processed foods, too much saturated fat, hidden sugars. These are the things that slow mental clarity and open space for forgetfulness. Choosing what you eat becomes more than just nutrition. It becomes a way of honoring your story. Each meal, a small act of care, a reminder that the mind, just like the body, responds to love, to attention, and to intention. Feeding your brain wisely is one of the most loving ways to remember who you are. Movement keeps the mind awake. There's a quiet rhythm that lives deep in the body, something older than the heartbeat, more ancient than breath. It's the rhythm of movement. And when we move with purpose and grace, something within the mind stirs too. For many years, it was believed that the brain simply wore down with age. But we now understand it's far more alive than we imagined, always growing, always adapting. And one of the simplest, most powerful ways to keep it healthy is through movement. When the body moves, it sends signals of renewal to the brain. Blood flows. Oxygen reaches places that had grown quiet. Thoughts become clearer. Awareness expands. You don't need intense routines. Even a gentle walk, done often, can awaken parts of the mind that have gone silent. Dancing, swimming. A quiet bike ride through the park. These aren't just physical acts. They spark light inside. They strengthen not only your muscles and joints, but the delicate pathways where thoughts and memories flow. Experts suggest about 150 minutes a week of moderate physical activity, but more important than the number is how present you feel. When your movements are conscious, they speak directly to the brain, to your whole being. In a world that often feels rushed and loud, moving with kindness is its own kind of healing. A way to say, I'm still here. A way to return home to yourself, because every step taken with presence leads you closer to clarity, and when the body awakens, the mind listens. Quietly, gratefully. Gentle support for a sharper mind. Caring. For your mind isn't only about what you avoid or what you eat. Sometimes it's also about opening space for new forms of support. Alongside good habits, there are natural options that can gently strengthen your focus and clarity as time goes on. In recent years, some supplements have been created especially for those who want to feel mentally present, even as they move into later chapters of life. One of those is called Cineboost. It brings together plant-based nutrients known for supporting clear thinking and healthy brain function. This isn't a replacement for your daily care. It's an extra layer, something for those moments when you feel your mind could use a little more energy, a little more balance. If you're curious about it, or wondering whether it fits your personal routine, there's a link in the video description. There you'll find thoughtful information without pressure. Just clarity, so you can decide with peace and confidence. Because caring for your mind also means listening to what this moment of life is asking for. And sometimes that means allowing yourself a gentle hand to hold. Something that works quietly in the background, supporting your well-being from the inside out. True strength often begins with something small, a simple act of care, a choice made with love. Keep your mind curious and alive. Some gardens bloom in the harshest soil. And just like that, some minds stay vibrant even as the years pass. The difference is in how they're tended. The brain, much like a garden, needs care and a steady dose of curiosity to stay awake. Science shows us that the brain responds to how we use it. When we challenge it, it builds new connections. This ability, called neuroplasticity, means that even later in life, the mind can still grow, adapt, and surprise us. But keeping the mind active doesn't mean filling it with information. It means opening doors to the unfamiliar, listening to a style of music you've never explored, trying a new puzzle, learning a few words in a new language. These small moments light up quiet corners of the brain. Even something as simple as playing an instrument touches deep parts of the mind. It's not just about finger movements. It's about memory, rhythm, and feeling. Solving a riddle becomes more than entertainment. It becomes a quiet exercise in focus, patience, and presence. And here's the beauty of it. You don't need to master anything. Just stepping into the unknown gently invites the brain to stretch, to stay engaged, to keep wondering, because curiosity doesn't retire. It stays with you as long as you welcome it. And a curious mind, no matter the age, is a mind still in bloom. 5. Good hearing, clear thinking. Some of life's most meaningful moments come to us in sound. The voice of someone we love, a song from years ago, the soft laughter of a child. These aren't just noises, they're doorways to memory, to feeling, to connection. But when hearing starts to fade, so does a part of the world around us. Conversations become harder to follow, details slip away, and little by little, silence takes up more space. What many don't realize is that untreated hearing loss can also put extra strain on the mind, quietly increasing the risk of mental decline. That's because when the brain struggles to understand unclear sounds, it has to work harder, and that effort takes energy away from other important tasks, like remembering, concentrating, or staying engaged. Hearing well is more than just picking up sounds. It's about connection. It's about staying present with others and with yourself. When you care for your hearing, you're also caring for the clarity of your thoughts, your conversations, and your emotional memory. Supporting your hearing doesn't have to be complicated. What matters is honoring your need to stay connected. Listening isn't just about sound, it's about being part of life. Because when you hear well, you don't just remember better. You feel more alive in the moment. And that, too, is a form of memory. A memory that breathes, that listens, that stays. Finding calm, protecting the mind. Some silences have the power to heal. But there are also quiet tensions, invisible noise inside us that wear down the mind over time. Stress doesn't always shout. Sometimes it whispers for years, clouding your thoughts, scattering your focus, slowly chipping away at your memory like water softens stone. When the mind is under stress, it stays alert, always on guard, and that constant alertness takes a toll. It changes how the brain works, especially in the places that hold your memories, shape your attention, and process your emotions. But healing doesn't come from escaping life's challenges. It comes from how we move through them. Gentle practices, a few slow breaths, a quiet moment in nature, or simply pausing to listen to your own pace, teach the body to come back to balance. They guide the nervous system back home, to a place of ease where the mind can breathe again. And it's there, in that stillness, that something beautiful happens. Thoughts begin to clear. Memory finds its rhythm. The heart softens and listens. Calm isn't the absence of movement. It's the presence of peace. It's the quiet art of hearing your own soul, even when the world around you is noisy. And when you truly hear yourself, your body responds, because your body listens to everything your soul whispers. Always. Memory is more than facts or faces. It's emotion that stays, a scent that lingers, a glance that still means something. It's your story, and it's worth caring for. Making new choices may feel unfamiliar at first, but every transformation starts with a gentle shift, a step, a breath, a decision made with care. And over time, those choices become a way of living that nourishes both the mind and the heart. It's never too late to tend to what matters most. It's never too late to bring more presence, more meaning, more light into your days. You are not broken. You are becoming. And every act of care, even the smallest, becomes a quiet legacy of love. A light that remains, even when the day grows quiet.